All right, let's see. Three of Swords. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know how I feel about the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, we all walk around with three swords in our heart. Believe it or not. Yes, we do. Now, what are the swords? Swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them, right? And yet, with the Three of Swords coming up, this is, think about this. I always see it as the trigger. Yes, it's grief, it's pain, it's loss, it can be breakups and all that kind of stuff. It's already happened. It's not prediction, it's underlying. I always see those three swords as those stories that we carry around with us. We pick them up from our parents' marriage, from what happened to us at school, through our previous jobs. It's that. And one of the examples that I give for it, and I want to explain this very clearly, so I'll take a minute. Forward it ahead if you don't want to hear it. But the Three of Swords, I think we do a disservice when we immediately say, oh my God, third party situation. Because 9 times out of 10, when this card shows up in a reading, it is not that. It is not that. And think of it this way. So I'll give you an example. Say, for example, when I was at school, I was fat, I was ugly, and I was, I don't know, whatever. I just got bullied, and, I have this kind of hang up. Now, I might have grown up and lost the weight, learned how to put makeup on or whatever. So I'm not like that anymore. But one of these swords is that little kid that was, teased and bullied and stuff for being not the best looking. So think about that. Now, you might be my friend. You might turn around and say something to me, something about a new pair of jeans or something I bought, and said, oh my God, do you really want to emphasize that muffin top or that butt or whatever? Now, you might be joking. You might be joking with me, but you've just triggered because you've just shook that little sword. Now, I'm reacting in pain. And I'm saying to you, how dare you say that to me? What the hell? You're meant to be my friend. You're taking the piss out of me because of the jeans I'm wearing and blah, blah, blah. But it's not the trigger that we change, it's what's been triggered. What's been triggered in me is that little child that I was. So that's one example of how the Three of Swords works. So whenever we feel this pain, this loss, and this is when this card comes up, this is when people, they might have different jobs. They might go from one job to the other. And it's like, I'm always bullied. I always get treated like this in the office. My work always gets stolen from me. Because it's triggering something that's within us. Or relationships, the faces change and yet the relationship's always the same. Someone who's lied to me, someone who's cheated, they don't respect me or they don't do this because the trigger is within us. We walk around with the three swords in us. So the Three of Swords at its core, it talks about, they're not even our stories sometimes, but we walk around with them. And it's revealed one of the swords that we have in us. Now the trigger, whatever it is, the breakup, the thing, it might be something very different, but it's revealing something that is within us. And so in that sense, it's always an opportunity to remove those swords. We'll pick up some new ones, don't worry, that's what human beings do. But think about what comes after the Three of Swords. The Four of Swords. And in the Four of Swords, there's always three swords that are on the wall or separate because you've removed those three swords. And you have the fourth sword, which is your sword of truth. So just wanted to take a moment and explain it because I think it's one of the most misunderstood cards. And we do ourselves a disservice when it's like, oh yeah, third party situation. It's whatever, unless that third party situation it's going to have a deeper meaning to it. Whereas, it doesn't have to be infidelity or someone cheating. It might be that you're neglecting your relationships or your home life or whatever because you have a trigger about being poor. So you spend all your time working and, that's the third party situation in a relationship. It's like, it's much deeper, the meaning of the Three of Swords. So I always try to point that out to people. That's your underlying energy for this week. What is it? It feels like you've been looking at it. I feel like there is a new opportunity coming in for you this week. A new path, something new that you want to go for. And the main reason that you're not doing it, just going to call you guys out, Pisces, on this, is because of an old story, is because of an old trigger, is because of something that is always gone like that. Something's always happened this way. But amazingly powerful energy is here to support you in this. When we have strength, we have the Star and we have the Chariot. This is let's go for it. Revitalized. Let's go do this energy. It requires courage. And I get that. We have strength coming up. That's why I say it's very easy to say, hey, get over it. We carry those three swords. Usually it's three swords in our heart. So they've been there a while. It takes courage to face those demons. It takes courage to say, you know what? Yeah, that might have happened in the past, but I'm not going to allow that to happen again. For some of you, the courage that's required is to deal with the three swords. So this could be if you, I don't know, if you're speaking to a spiritual advisor, a therapist, you know, that could be it. That you're in this place in your life where you're dealing with some very old kind of issues that have been there for a while. For others of you, you're doing something new and there's some old story kind of coming forward that's saying, don't do this. Remember this, our fears and doubts, they try to keep us safe. They're trying to keep us from being hurt. That's why they come in. I'm sorry I kind of spent so much time on that, but I just wanted to make sure you understood it. Because if it's the underlying energy, it's massive for you this week. That's what one of the key things is, the vibration underneath all of this. Everything else is strong. Strength is, it's that inner strength. It's the inner courage. Very internal stuff going on, right? Three of Swords, the pain that we feel, and strength. Now, strength is, it's grace under fire. It's the ability to go on. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. That's the kind of strength that this talks about. Courage to go for something. Courage to move forward. And I feel like you know this because it's at the heart of that's what your focus is on. Now, strength is about physical strength, vitality, all of these things. Let's have a look at the signs. And you know, I always say this, the signs don't own the cards, they just lend their characteristics to it. So we have Leo here, we have Aquarius here, and we have Cancer here. Big energies for you guys. Why? What is the strength? Because there's 10 of Wands. I want to say this to you, Pisces. The real burden that you were carrying, you dropped it. You've already dropped it. I know whatever you might have started, and the implication of the 10 of Wands as a past energy is that something that you started off with a lot of passion and creativity, and I want to do this and I'm going to do whatever. And it turned into a bloody obstacle course. With this on your back, and you're trying to look at him like crawl through these brambles and all the rest of it. That's what it kind of turned into. So it makes sense. But whatever this Three of Swords is, it's connected to something that you've already finished, you're done with. It's the last cycle that you went through. And so there is a lot of vitality here. There's a lot of healing energy coming in because we have the star coming in the present. This is a new beginning, a new wish, a new dream. It's having the courage to go for it. It's having the courage to dream big. I often feel with the star coming up, it's that kind of sense of, hey, it's written in the stars kind of energy that dream big. Why are you dreaming small? Why are you just picking something that's right in front of you? Go for the stars, right? Reach for the stars. You can do it. Amazing when the star and strength come up together here. This is almost, if you resist this, and you know, there's all sorts of people watching this. And some people might say, well, Jay, you don't understand. No, I need to deal with this. I want to say this to you that, you know, it's the going for it that heals you. Do you see what I mean? A lot of people think I need to sit at home and work on this before I can go for something new. But this feels like the hope that comes from that new beginning. That when you walk down it, it's almost like you leave those swords behind as you go forward. This is what heals you. And it's around top themes of having the courage to go for something new, having the courage to dream something new. And not thinking that, well, last time it turned into this. I don't want that again. Because if you do this, if you dream big, and the downfall of the star card, every card has a higher and lower vibration. The lower vibration of the star is we can look at that star and think, it's too far away. I'm never going to reach it. It's too far. It's not going to happen. That's the old stories. That's the old stories. You can go for it. We receive guidance. We receive help when the star shows up. Beautiful energy. Where does that lead? It leads to the Six of Pentacles. This is equal giving and receiving. You will get back what you put in. Somebody always has to go first with this. Now, coins, pentacles, they are to do with our physical stability, security, and support. Those things that we can see, feel, and touch. What is real here? And it's kind of strange because I think I just did Aquarius for you, and they got a coins card in the future too. And it kind of feels like wherever the dreams are, wherever the wishes are, if we embrace that emotion, and it's for you guys, it's not emotional, but it's not emotional. What's kind of cropping up here are the old stories. And you don't want that, and you know that. You've already dropped a lot of the burden here. So going forward, with the coins or pentacles coming up, this is about making it real. Manifest reality, right? turning it into something real. How do we do that? By following the new course and the courage to do so. Courage, strength to do this. Strength card is beautiful. It says, I have the strength, or you have the strength to overcome any obstacles, right? You have the strength to do this. This is doubt energy. Because look at the advice. The advice is the 9 of Swords. This is insomnia. This is lack of sleep. This is, stress, anxiety, worry. And everything feels like shit when you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and you feel like you're the only person awake in the world and you've got these thoughts coming at you. Worry. What's going to happen? What if it turns out like before? Is this going to happen? Will I get my new beginning? And it's okay if you need help. I always say this when the 9 of Swords comes up. I think it's too easy. I mean, the 9 of Swords does say that. It says the more you focus on this, the bigger it's going to become. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Things are not as bad as they seem. Things are not as bad as they seem. Very hopeful energy, in fact, with the star coming in. And I don't think it's the new beginning or the hope or the wish that's got you. It's what this was, what it turned into in the past. That I don't want that. I don't want that. And yet, what does this say? The Chariot. Balance, head and heart. Go for it. This is taking control of a situation. This is going in that new direction. But you're overthinking it, Pisces. And I get it. Like I said, fear is there. We've developed it as human beings. It keeps us safe. I'm not one of those people that says fear is bad. Fear is not. Fear serves us. It does serve us. We would not be alive as a species if we did not have that fight or flight response that we have, right? We would have just stuck around like, just, what's this? And gotten eaten by a lion or something. So, but in this modern era, we've turned things that are into life and death that aren't. All of a sudden now we can't tell people how we feel. We don't want to go for that job. What if I fail? What if I do this? That's the thoughts. And they're just trying to keep you safe. They're trying to prevent you from getting into this situation again. But you won't, because you're a new person. Balance your head and your heart and go for it. Take control of this situation. You do have control. I think some of you need to know that. You do have control of the situation. You have control over your thoughts, for starters. Shift them, focus them. When something crops up like that, that's what I do.